So, welcome, and also Nikalag, or whatever it was,
don't
to
open
everyone
with
else.
that, because we don't know what that is. We don't know what you're saying, so don't open with it.
It means go fuck yourself in Lebanese Arabic. So,
and you verified that. You definitely sure that's...
Not Mohammed in Twitch chat said it is, so I agree. Welcome back to the podcast. We're in for a good one, folks, because I'm really hungry, and there's all sorts gone off. There's all sorts, such as my house alarm. It did a thing. Judd's painting models as always. Woo! I've got a man who had a breakfast problem. Something called a malt drink, and then you ever heard of kings and queens? Those are involved. And then, did some of them die? Yes, that's also involved too. That might seem like a bunch of random shit, but stick around if you want to know what the fuck I'm talking about.
In fact, fun fact: most kings and queens have actually died.
Yeah,
if you think about it.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, most of them are actually dead.
And do you want to know something that's more terrifying? You can't really say most people have died.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people alive now, we're so overpopulated in the world, that's a bit up for debate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway. But what have you been up to, Judd?
Well, I feel like what I'm about to say is going to lead into the only thing I've really got to talk about, which is I've been painting some little plastic men.
And which plastic men were these? It's your Warhammer hobby.
It's my Warhammer shit, yeah. I'm actually doing it right now, whilst we're doing the podcast. So I've talked about it a long time, on previous episodes.
Not on this episode. We've only been recording 2 and a bit minutes. So.
Yeah, no. That's too long, though. That's already too long. People already don't care. I'm into Warhammer, which is essentially, it's a tabletop war game. I've been into it for now 10 years, and this army that I'm painting, actually, I mentioned this a bit before, Jake. I don't know if you probably can't remember. I mentioned it a few podcasts back, that this is sort of like, because this is I'm doing the first ever army that I ever did when I got into this hobby as like a 10-year anniversary of the hobby sort of thing. But also, this army just happens to have had like a huge rule update recently, so it's really good timing. Right. But yeah, I've just been painting like crazy because I've been getting into like doing tournaments in it more recently, and I'm in a grand tournament, not this weekend but the weekend after, and I'm pretty sure it is the biggest Warhammer event in at least the north of Yorkshire. It might be all of Yorkshire, but I know it's the biggest Warhammer tournament in the north of Yorkshire, definitely. So, right. But that you have to, usually in tournaments, like I just go to little shop tournaments. I've never been to a grand tournament before, and usually their policy is if you show up with a fully painted army, you get like extra points. So it sort of incentivizes you to like show up with a fully painted army. Whereas in the grand tournament, it literally just says, if one of your models isn't painted, you cannot play in the tournament. So it's like, yeah.
It should do, really.
Yeah, but I recently won best painted in the last tournament I was in with this army, which I gotta be honest, it wasn't like there was only 8 people in the tournament to begin with, and I think 3 of those people showed up with an unpainted army,
right.
And 2 of those people had already won it with that army, and you cannot win best painted with an army that you've already won it with. So basically, I only beat out 2 guys for this for this award.
I was gonna say, so you won by default, then.
Well, I mean, you can look at it that way, but I also mean that like it's also like if these people aren't bothered to paint, surely, they say, like, 2 of them were saying, oh, I just don't paint because I'm like so bad that I ruin my models. Then really it's like, Well, no, I still beat them because technically I am still a better painter than them because I showed up with a fully painted army. So you could look at it. I don't know, but it's less about the fact I actually won it, and it's more like back when I started 10 years ago. This army that I'm painting right now, they're called the Emperor's Children. For anybody who's wondering, they were fucking dog shit when I first painted them. They looked awful. They were so bad. So now even if it's really just like against two other fully painted armies, I'm only really beating out two other fully painted armies. That's still a huge thing for me because it's like I have come. If you want, I'll send you some pictures over. I took some nice looking pictures of this army that I painted. But yeah, it's just I'm proud with it. It's not anything crazy.
What are you sending them on?
I'll send them on Facebook. I sent them to Thomas. Thomas has them right here. Okay.
Oh my!
Did you like that?
God.
There you go. I've just forwarded that to you. So yeah, I've just been painting. I've just been painting like crazy. Yeah. Well, maybe you.
These dudes to me look like they look like what your 56-year-old dad thinks he looks like when he buys a Harley Davidson. I've got some bikes. Yeah, I got some bikes. They're very the chunky purple boys on motorbikes.
Yeah. They are very. I think that's the point of the aesthetic is like they give me very like 80s metal sort of vibes when I look at them on their big chunky like bikes. I like them. I like the bikes. But,
I might have slightly doxed us there, but I think we're okay.
Okay, nobody cares enough.
Yeah, it's because if we send something on Facebook, I always open it up so that it like goes full screen. It doesn't show profile pictures or anything like that.
Yeah.
And when I was clicking on the next arrow, it just shut them down for some reason.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So, but whatever.
And conveniently, I just happened to have sent you a message with my full home address and my IP address and like.
No, I think we'll be all right. Yeah. Well, that sounds fun. That sounds like you had a jolly old time.
Yeah. So I'll if anything interesting happens at this big tournament, I'll be sure to bring it up. If I beat somebody so badly that they start to screech and shriek, but I say that, but most likely it would be me shrieking and screeching. So I'll keep you informed if anything happens. But,
well, I do look forward to hearing what you said and actually listening to you for once when I listen back to this podcast because I wasn't then. But I was screeching and ranting and raving recently because I kind of did a mess up. Okay, I kind of messed up a bit. It's the first thing that's gone wrong with my new house. I was using my hedge trimmer that I bought. It's an electric wired hedge trimmer, but I've got an extension cable that's long enough to the point where I can reach all my hedges with it. It's not a problem. And I was just trimming my hedges. They're not even out of control or anything, just a regular trim. And, well, to cut it short, may I say, I accidentally cut the wire in half for the hedge trimmer. And, yeah, and I was like... There's been all sorts of shit going off. It's been a bit of a tough time lately, and it's gonna be as well. I've got a funeral next week and everything. It's fucking ridiculous. So, I've been putting off certain bits of work. Like this room that I'm in at the minute is like it's a bit trashed, and there's been quite a bit of housework I've been putting off because I've not been like in mindset to do it. And I finally mustered up the ability to bring myself to go and do this. You know, this job, tidy up some of the garden, and then I cut the fucking hedge trimmer, and it was so annoying.
Yeah.
And I was annoyed at that anyway, because I was thinking, I'm going to have to fucking order a new hedge trimmer and everything, and I can't get any of this work done now. It's so fucking annoying. But then I looked at the side of my house, and my alarm was going off. And I was like, what? Why is... Yeah. And I didn't immediately notice it, because I was like, kind of... fucking around trying to sort this hedge trimmer out, and I thought it might have been another alarm from somewhere else, but no, it was our house alarm. So I went inside and I oh god, it's gonna have tripped the power, hasn't it? It's like flicked a fuse off so that I didn't get electrocuted or something. So I went to the fuse box and I flicked the fuse back on and it was fine. The alarm went off straight away. But the like outside house alarm that alerts people in the area that that might be a problem went off.
Yeah.
But then on the inside, the like panel and the bit that beeps inside was constantly going beep 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 beep.
Yeah.
But every so often in the middle of it, like at random intervals, it'd go beep beep and stuff as well. It weren't just a constant noise that you could maybe shut off. It had randomised it a bit to piss you off even more. So it was doing that, and I was thinking, oh, what the fuck? Why? And it's been, I'm going to admit now, because by the time I publish this podcast, it'll be sorted out. Our alarm hasn't worked properly this whole time. We couldn't just put the code in to shut it off because it didn't work right or anything. So I had to go and I was thinking, oh God, what the fuck am I going to do? My grandma, who lives nearby, happened to be walking past the house at this time, and she saw me like fanning about at the front door and like came up and was like, oh, you alright? I'm like, no, not really. I've just chopped my hedge trimmer. My alarm won't shut up. I don't know what the fuck to do about it. So she was like coming up with all these things that you're supposed to do, press the code, press reset, do all, and none of it were working. So
did you say to her, "Shut up, bitch! I know what I'm doing."
I was thinking, look, right, you're old now. I'm going to be able to handle this better than you. Let's be honest. So I'd rather you just stop bothering me. It's the only time that I've ever felt that way with my grandma, but that's how it was. So she went and I called. I know that there's 2 phone numbers on the actual alarm box outside my house. So I called the first one, and this woman's voice. You might want to tip your camera up a bit, Judd. It looks ridiculous at the minute. This woman's voice said hello, and I was like, I thought she might be a receptionist or something. And I said, your phone number was on the alarm outside my house, and it won't shut up, and I don't really know what to do about it. And she went, oh, I'm his mother. I'll give you his phone number. And I thought, what the fuck have you just said to me? You're the alarm guy's mother? What? Yeah. What? Seriously? And I was like, I suppose. All right. Yeah. So she gave me this guy's number, and I checked, and it was the other phone number. So there was 2 phone numbers on the outside, and it was the other phone number that was on the outside of the house. So I called it, and we're like, look, my alarm's basically just constantly going off. What do I do? And he didn't know. He was like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, well, and I told him like what model it was, and he told me to press this, and I did, and I was like, that's not done anything. And then finally we're like, oh yeah, just press this. So I did, and then it went off. And I'm thinking, oh, why did you fucking do that in the first place? So, oh my God, I'm thinking, I've gone around this bloke's mother, who's taking him ages to fucking figure it out. And then he said that he could do with servicing it and maybe changing the battery. So I said, fine. When's the next you can come? Like, you can come right now if you want. When's the next earliest? So he said, today, because this were all yesterday. So he said, I can come tomorrow around dinner time. So like, right, okay. But there was a problem in that it wasn't completely shut off. So when we were downstairs, the motion detectors had detected us, and it'd go boop boop when it had detected us, and there'd be a bit of a pause, but every time it detected us, it'd go boop boop. Yeah. So that's really fucking annoying. So there was a big problem with that, basically. But weirdly and ironically, when we went to sleep that night, because we were upstairs, it weren't beeping. And weirdly, it was the first time that our alarm would actually beep if someone had got in downstairs. So even though it were broken, so there was that. But I messaged him today at like 4:30, being like, do you know any sort of time you might be? Do you know what's a more accurate time you might be round today? Because I'm supposed to be doing something, and I want to let the people I do it with, it's not you, but know what sort of time to expect me. And then the message I got back was, "Are you in tomorrow?" And I'm thinking,
nice.
whoa, hold on, no. What do you mean, are you in tomorrow?
Wait.
You said today. So I said to him, well, yeah, I think so, but we were expecting you today. I'll still be in for tonight. I just need to let people know when I'll be available, when you'll be done.
Yeah.
And he says, things didn't go to plan today, got delayed with delivery, sorry. The fuck are you talking about? I don't give a shit! Get over here! So, honestly, and I said, when can you next come? The alarm beeps whenever we're downstairs still. He says, tomorrow dinner time. So I'm like, alright, we'll just make sure we're in then. But I've unscrewed the main alarm box and unplugged the battery from it. And it still beeps. It still beeps. So I don't know what we can even fucking do about it. So, somehow I figured out how to just shut it up completely. I pressed a button and it's shut up. So,
all right. So you might not even need.
Fucking hell. No, I still want him to come and just check the alarm and see if he can even make it work. And if he can't, I want him to remove it, and we're going to get a better one. We're going to upgrade the security. Because fuck me. A tradesman, am I right?
Yeah, they suck.
Judd's a bit of a tradesman. Kind of.
No, and they suck. I got first-hand experience. Every one of us fucking sucks. We're all bastards. None of us want to work.
I end up calling his fucking mother, and then he won't even come when I need him. Jesus. Oh my god, but that's that anyway. He's not the worst person I've encountered this week, because it's time for this.
Freak of the week.
It's time for Freak of the Week. This is where typically Judd runs into a freaky person and tells us all about this weird, interesting person. Judd, have you met a freak?
I'm freakless this week, so you take it away with your freak.
That's fine. I met a freak and thought of this. When we say a freak, it's an endearing term normally, but this freak was a fucking dickhead.
I like how we've got to take, because usually when we come with one of these, we're like, look, we got a freak for you, and we talk about them, but we actually quite enjoy talking about them.
Yeah, it's the love of the variety of seeing weird people about.
So when we've got one which is no, we actually don't like this person, it's we have to address it. We're this one, okay, this one actually does suck.
So I want to do a little bit of role playing for this one, Judd.
Yes.
You've got to imagine, right? This was this was at my place of work, actually. So you're working in a hospital, okay? But you're not a doctor.
Okay.
Or a nurse, or anything like that. You are a dinner lady. You're one of the canteen dinner food server women, okay? Or, well, I mean, it was a woman who was behind there where I was there, but you can be a man if you want, or you can be neither, or you can be a goat in today's society. I don't know
I've already got the voice I want to do in my head, so...
Okay, right, so that's who you are. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. It's not very busy, but you've got the breakfast stuff out: bacon, sausage, beans, some eggs, mushrooms, some tomato, fried bread. The selection's out there. So I went and I ordered my 5-item breakfast. Got it as normal, paid for it, and went and sat down.
Do you want me to do this bit with you? Do you want me to role play this bit? Oh.
No, not yet. So I sat down at basically the closest table with a prime view of this counter.
Okay.
And then I'd opened my thing. I'd just started eating, and this fella, he's about as tall as me. You know how tall I am, but he's he was skinnier than me. He weren't skinny, but he was just kind of really normal, I suppose. Weren't a doctor or a staff member or anything. You could tell by his clothes and kind of how he was walking up. He goes up to this counter. He's like, I'm going to play him now. Like, I love, I'm starving me. I'd love all of that, you know. I get so hungry. I could eat it all. You see that whole tray, see that there, that one, and he's kind of reaching over and tracing a square on it. That whole tray there, I could pick that up me and just eat it, all that there. So, can I get one with, what's it like? He's not letting her get a word in edgeways, by the way. What's one of everything? How much is one of everything? Can I have one? I have one of everything? Can I keep playing it? Play it now. I could eat it all, you know, because I get so. You got to play it now because this is what it was like.
Okay.
Can I have one of everything? Yeah. How much is it?
Can.
Is it
it's
right?
Probably.
Okay.
Well, let me just set it up for you. That's probably about.
No. Well, listen, no, because because what she said was, well, we do a 5-item breakfast, or we do a 9-item breakfast. You're like, all right. So what's one of everything then? How much is what? And I'm thinking, she's trying to fucking tell you, mate. She's trying to tell you that you can have a 9-item breakfast. And then he hits her with, well, because I've got £2.60, you see. And
Nice.
I thought, well, I paid £3.15 with staff discount for mine, so you fucked me, aren't you? And then that finally he shuts up after saying, so I've got £2.60, so what can I have with that? And then there's an awkward pause where she's like, what the fuck? Before she goes, well, bacon sandwich is £2.60. And you're like,
nice.
well, I can, I'll go on, do us one of them then. Do us one of them. Can I have 3 slices of bacon on that? Can I have 3? Can I have that one there? And he's like putting his hand into the thing. Yeah. And she's like, no, it comes with 2 slices of bacon. I can't put any more on. It's like, and he goes, and I swear to God, he fucking reaches at the bacon, and he's like, you could just put us that little one on, and picks it up from counter, and she's like, I'm not allowed to put extra on, and he just starts eating it in front of her fucking face.
What the fuck?
I know. Like, what the fuck is that? And she says, because it's like, she's not an old woman, but like a bit of an older woman. And she was small as well, so she's not exactly going to aggressively challenge this dude. And she's on her own, and there's no one else working behind that counter. She's like, you're not supposed to reach across like that. And you're like, all right, sorry, sorry. And then he kind of backs off a little bit while she's sorting out this sandwich, and he goes, can I have an hash brown on that? Could I have hash brown? She's like, it'll be extra though. You're like, well, just you could just put it on for me, like. And she's like, he's reaching, and he's grabbed this hash brown, and he's grabbed the sandwich that's still in her hand, and he's like opening it and shoving it on. He's like, just put it on there, brother. And she's like, she's in shock. He's like just manhandling all this food, and she's like, she don't want to challenge him because she don't want to, you know, if someone's being that forward, and then like he's like, don't charge me extra for that though. And I started thinking, the fuck is wrong with you? But like. What's your what do you think of this? Like, what would be your reaction to this shit?
I think you should have said something. I think you should have said something. If he's not,
man, it's 8 a.m.
I don't do a fucking. I think you should have said. I would have fucking told him to get out. I literally would have fucking like just smacked the fucking sandwich. The second he picked up and grabbed the sandwich, I would have smacked the sandwich out of his hand and said, "Fucking get out."
In a hospital as well. Like, what sort of disease is going to be slapping around everywhere? What would you have done if you were behind the counter? You're the worker behind the counter. How are you going to deal with this bloke?
I would have put his sandwich down and said, "Get out."
How are you going to get him out? So if you do that, then he goes, "Well, just give me my sandwich, though. I want to just give us a sandwich."
Okay, so I'd say, "Sir, I'm calling the police if you don't get out."
Well, you don't need to do that. I ain't done nothing wrong. Just all I want is my sandwich. Okay. Just give us a sandwich.
The phone is in my hand. I'm calling the police.
I just want to.
I stopped responding to the guy because I'm calling the police. It's that simple. Like,
honestly, I couldn't get over this fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I kind of thought, like, is he like struggling with money, or like is he homeless or something like that? And he's trying to, like, I don't know. He's figured out that. If you're more pushy or something like that, you can get a bit more for your money, and you can justify it by the fact that he's so hard done by or something.
Yeah.
But I just think, though, why are you in this hospital then? What's going on there?
Yeah.
Like, if you were in this hospital for medical needs, you get meals provided on the NHS. So, but he weren't. He were fine. He were wandering around fit and healthy. So if he's here as an actual homeless person, then go out and fucking try and do something rather than like scamming a bacon sandwich at 8 a.m. with an extra hash brown for no reason. Like, that's not gonna... That extra hash brown that you've just caused that woman, like, no ends of grief for, he's not gonna help you that much, really, is it? Like, it's not gonna fill you up very much at all. And the time that it's taken you to swindle this, you could have been put into way better use. It's just... I couldn't stand it. Tweet at Tweets Badly to let us know your opinions on this, why you might have done it, and what you think of this fucking fella, because... I think part of it was I was similar to her in that I was shocked. I was like, the fuck is he doing? So I don't know, but that's the freak of the week this week. But there's something else a bit freaky I wanted to ask you about, because there's a bit of a phenomenon that I've been discovering, and I've discovered it with two things. It's to do with food, and there's olives and malt drink, right? So for me, olives, I don't like them. Do you like olives?
I don't know if I've ever tried an olive, you know.
Really?
I don't
think you would like an olive. You don't like most things, so...
I don't like most things, no. I can pretty much assume that I wouldn't like an olive, but now I'm unsure if I have tried an... Wait, no, I have tried an olive. I have tried one. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I didn't think you would.
I didn't like it. No.
I don't... So this is a weird thing. I don't like olives, but I do like to eat them. Do you see where I'm going with this?
No.
Like, I don't like the flavour or the texture or anything, but there's something about eating them that I enjoy. I don't know.
What? You don't like the flavour or the texture,
no.
but you enjoy eating?
Yeah. I don't know. It feels good to eat, but not taste or texture-wise. I think it's something mentally. It's like I don't know. I don't particularly like studying, but I like to know the things I've studied. You know? I like to know them after I've done the studying. It's kind of like that. And I recently tried, do you know Horlicks?
It's not kind of like that, because you're giving me a reason why you enjoy the knowledge. Like, you're not giving me a reason why you enjoy olives. I
don't know the reason. This is why it's strange to me, because there's some reason there, but I just can't tell what it is. Do you not get that with any sorts of foods or drink or anything?
No.
What about like a green smoothie?
You
feel the health benefits of that, no?
No, I wouldn't drink it, because I eat and drink stuff that I think's tasty. Like, that's my only reason why I consume stuff, is because I think it's tasty.
This is why I don't eat olives very often, because I don't really like the flavour or texture, like I said, but there's something about it every so often. It's like, oh yeah, I could go for I could eat 3 olives, just because there'd be something nice about that. I don't know. I'm seeking help here, please. I don't know what the fuck this is.
Makes me feel. Sometimes you say something and it'll just make me feel a bit sick, and I don't know what to do with it. Like,
but do you know Horlicks? Do you know what that is?
What?
Horlicks, the drink Horlicks.
No.
It's what old people drink to go to sleep. It's this powder, and you mix it with warm water. A bit like Bovril, but it's not. You know what Bovril is?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm gonna have to go on a tangent here. So gravy. You know gravy, don't you? You know how you make gravy?
Yeah.
Bovril is a bit like gravy, but it's a drink.
Okay.
And it tastes a bit like Marmite or gravy, but it's a savoury hot drink. So Horlicks is a bit like that, but it's not savoury. It's like creamy and sweet. It's kind of like a milkshake, but it kind of tastes like the inside of a Malteser, because it's a malt drink. So I tried it recently, and it doesn't taste like olives, but it has the same effect as olives, where I drunk it, and I was like, I don't really like this. I don't really like the flavour. It's a little bit too thick. thick for me, and I don't like hot drinks anyway. I don't like any drink that I drink being hot, apart from a cup of tea once every 3 years. So I'm sorry. I know I'm weird. Okay, in general, Judd is way more weird when it comes to food, but there's certain things, right? I'm just airing them out right now.
I'm not weird when it comes to food. I'm
You
just
are.
shit. I'm just
suppose.
shit.
That's a better way of doing it.
I'll look at a plate of vegetables and like green stuff and go, I really wish I could enjoy that and sit there and just be content with that. But I'm not. So get me a triple cheeseburger and put mac and cheese on it, and I want loaded fries with bacon, bitch.
Well, speaking of mac and cheese and burgers and stuff, have you tried the McDonald's summer menu?
No, but I will say something about McDonald's. This whole reward system they've got going on, it's the fucking future.
Is it? I should have signed up to it because I've had quite a bit of McDonald's recently.
Oh, Jake, get on it. I don't even like go to McDonald's that much. Like compared to you, you go to McDonald's a lot more than me. You need to be getting the McDonald's app because I'm essentially because you get rewards for like how much you spend there. Yeah. I sort of just do it. I don't go crazy with rewards or anything. I just do it so that like basically every other meal I have like a free McFlurry with it. Just some. But
yeah, I'm not a fan of McFlurries though.
I love McFlurries, so that's fine for me. But
I used to like the Taco Bell one. Every other time you went, you got a free reward, but you didn't have to claim it. It was a stamp system. Yeah. So you'd eat there once, and then the next time you go, you'd get a free little thing of nachos, like a very small bag, and then you'd go there another time, and then the next time after that you'd get like a little burrito, and then you'd go again, and the next time after that you'd get like a meal for free. That one was good. But did you so there was 2 waves of the McDonald's summer menu. There was the Italian tastes one, which has just gone out, and now it's the Spanish tastes one. Did you try the Italian one at all?
No, I don't really try any. I don't really try any of the burgers, to be honest.
There was a burger that was kind of dubbed the lasagna burger. So it had kind of like it had 2 beef patties, some cheese, and then like kind of marinara sauce on it, and that was fine. But it weren't really better than like a Big Mac or a double cheeseburger or anything like that. Whenever your special burger isn't as good as like regular items, then I'm just not that impressed. It had mozzarella sticks; those were good. Liked the mozzarella sticks. And it also had the best McDonald's burger they've ever had, which was the pesto chicken burger. Do you like pesto?
No.
Then you wouldn't like it, but that's your fault. So you have to admit that that's your fault, okay? So it was basically like a crispy chicken patty and some pesto mayo and lettuce and a bit of onions and we had like 6 of them each, me and my girlfriend. And now the one is it's like kind of like a salsa topped version of the burger, and the chicken one has kind of a salsa-ish sauce, but it has chorizo slices on top. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. I thought potentially I might like this more, but it's not as good as the pesto one, but it's still pretty decent. I like to give my commentary on these things, believe it or not. But it's time for another segment. It's this one.
That's it.
This segment is This Is Why You Are Wrong. It's where I present Judd with a premise. He gives his stance on that premise, and I have to try and convince him why he's wrong. Today's topic is: which element of medieval times, medieval living, should we bring to the nowadays? What should we bring back? Take it back to the Dark Ages, you know?
All right. I've got it. It's kind of like a twofer, if you'll permit me. The idea of chivalry and brotherhood, because back in medieval times, come on now. I mean, you had your fair bit of fucking betrayals and stuff like that. Was part and parcel, but also you had
anime betrayals of all time.
Yeah. You had fucking like your knightly orders and shit, and you had people going out and fucking adventuring and I know I'm not talking like fantasy shit here. I mean like going out and like even just surfing like your country and your kingsmen and stuff. I feel like people were just more honorable back then. If you wanted to murder somebody, you did it with honor. You picked up a sword and you went to the house and you murdered them. It was honorable. I feel like now.
People just go to people's houses and they don't bring their sword and honorably call them out?
No. I was still like nowadays, if somebody was going to murder somebody, they'd put on a ski mask and they go, "Oh, you've been chatting shit about me on WhatsApp. I'm going to stab you," and then they fucking stab them to death in LA.
They'd probably not murder them. That probably wouldn't be the response.
They probably get him cancelled on Twitter, which is a fate worse than that.
So for starters, that's a big hole in your decision. Plus, the honor system from medieval times, it didn't apply very well to anyone other than nobility and kings and queens. If you weren't one of those, you're getting fucked by the honor system.
I was joking a little bit with the murdering thing. I meant more. I don't know. It's more like having a purpose in something, I suppose. Like, I just feel like when people fought for something back then, they really fucking fought for it, you know? Like they actually believed in like
the thing that you would bring from medieval times is actually having a reason to be alive.
Yeah.
How society has failed.
Yeah, because people, when people would go out and fight, it's like they were either fighting for like, you know, the king or the country or the god, and it was all like shit they believed in. Nowadays, it's just like, why are you gonna war? Oh, well, I gotta pay for an apartment back in fucking Chicago, dude. I gotta go out
in Seattle.
Back in Seattle. I'm just a soldier from Seattle. I'm an American boy. How do
listen? That's if you want to be brainwashed by religion or some bullshit and let them radicalize you.
Maybe I do.
To be able to fight something, then you can still go and do that. We don't need that bringing. Okay, just join a cult, Judd. It's fine. If that's what you want to do.
Say, like, go join ISIS.
Other than that bit of purpose that you're looking for, which you could get nowadays if you wanted to be tricked into it, you would be absolutely fucked over by the honor system if you're 99% of people. The king and the queen would benefit from it a bit, but even then, they get assassinated all the fucking time. So, the honor system then actually fucking sucked. It was like a sham. It was like pretend honor among people that you already liked. So
at least they had the decency to pretend then. At least they put on airs about.
Do you know what I want to bring back? What I think would be genuinely really good and beneficial for society? Medieval war. Medieval war. And by extension, the weaponry that's used in conflicts from medieval times. That's what I think we should bring back.
See, this kind of goes...
these remote drones. Fuck all that. Fuck the guns. No guns. Get rid of all the guns. We don't need them. Don't need guns. Because no one will have them. Okay? No one has guns. It's all bow and arrows, swords, spears, shields, all of that shit. A massive benefit of that would be way less threat of nuclear war. That'd be a great one. Because you could still have all the, like, modern day internet technology. The world would still be so connected. Just the weapons would change, the weapons and the war tactics. Because so then you'd, like, actually have decent armies. But having said that, I mean, it would mean that places like India and China would, like, be massively more powerful than anywhere near them because they've got the biggest population. But, I think it'd also keep the population down. Keep the population down, which is a good thing. So, yeah, less threat of nuclear war, more skilled fighting. You actually have to learn something to do the fighting. And, generals have to work hard at all of that stuff.
But what is the point of doing all the medieval fighting if I don't have that chivalry or brotherhood backing me up?
You don't have to do the fighting. You're not a soldier.
Well, then what? Then it doesn't affect me. I want my change to affect me.
It does affect you because you're not threatened. At any moment, any country in the world could kill you and all your family just without a thought. They could just do that. Just blow you up, your entire country.
Yeah, but
No,
I
shut up,
like
Judd, because you're dead. You're dead. They've done it.
I like
Boom,
I
boom,
like
you're dead. You're dead. You're gone.
I like the
I'm muting you.
risk.
You're dead. Look,
I-
look, he's dead. He's dead. I'm muting him.
I like the risk. It makes me feel. I like the
risk.
I like
Well,
the
there you
constant
go. You've
threat.
already got your purpose, Judd. So you don't need your medieval. But like I've said,
Damn it! He's beaten me. All right, okay. I admit defeat. You beat me.
we did it.
Yeah.
He's convinced. There you go. That's what we're bringing back from medieval times. Swords and shit. I should have phrased it like that. If I said to you, Judd,
yeah.
you know, swords and shit.
Actually, I probably would have just caved immediately. I would have just gone, yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, there'd probably be plenty of deaths still. Probably more brutal, horrific deaths, actually. But these, I've brought up a list of even more brutal and horrific deaths that I wanted to tell you about and get your opinions on.
Cool.
Have you ever heard of the Darwin Award, Judd?
I have, but I can't remember what it's for.
So the Darwin Award is given to the person that dies in the most ridiculous way every year.
Okay.
So I don't know if these actually won the Darwin Award or anything, but I've got a list up of some of the most ridiculous deaths. So, in 2008, 46-year-old David Monk was on holiday in South de Horlicks, Italy, with a group of friends. That's probably wrong.
That's
I'm
not
so sorry.
Italian. That wasn't Italian. You were doing like fucking Swedish or something.
Okay, so it's probably South de Horlicks. Something like that. I don't know.
Post it. I did 2 months of Italian. I might be able to.
Post what? Put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if Judd can pronounce this shit, because I don't think Italians can even pronounce this shit.
Were you curling your hand when you said it as well? Because that's the
I
only
was
way.
not. That's where I went wrong.
Yeah, that's South de Hol.
Okay, that was actually better. I didn't expect that, actually, to be honest.
Yeah.
After having a few beers one evening, lads decided to steal a protective mat that covered the metal barriers at the bottom of the slope and use it as a sledge.
Sorry. Can I just really quickly say, is this a British lad on holiday?
I don't know.
Because if it's British, if it's a British lad on holiday, then this explains a lot. Like
it makes sense. Yeah.
I suppose Americans as well probably do it as well. I just feel like it's more of a British like I'm gonna fucking sled down this thing and
So they hiked up the hill and then hurled themselves down it and promptly slammed straight into the very same barrier they'd stolen the protective matting from. I feel like we would do that. David died on the spot, earning himself a Darwin Award in the process.
God, how did he die? Did he like go through it and was like turned into like meat cubes, like on Resident Evil when they go through that like laser grid wire?
Yeah. I'm just going to say yes and pretend that that's definitely right. Apparently, David's friend said, "You were a brilliant guy," Alan McGregor told the Daily Mail. And this article says, "We're not sure brilliant is the word we would have chosen."
Come on now.
Fucking dude's dead.
Oh my God, he's dead and that's his mate talking about him. You can't fucking print that. You can't put that in black and white.
Right, so... Next, we've got the Mid-Mountain Road bailout. In 2001, a story appeared in the South Idaho Press detailing the death of a man named Marco, who had been driving a van full of friends back from a day on the mountain when his brakes failed. In a truly heroic maneuver, Marco leapt from the moving vehicle before it careered off a cliff edge without telling anyone else about the brake problem first.
Oh my God!
What? No!
He just bailed. He just said wildcard bitches and fucking jumped at them.
This sounds sus, like he was trying to kill them.
Yeah.
Apparently, thankfully, one of the other passengers stepped in to save the day, managing to bring the van to a halt. They then walked back up the hill to find that Marco had fatally miscalculated his cowardly leap to safety and hit his head on the pavement, killing himself. Fuck Marco!
Yeah, fuck him though.
That's some instant karma right there.
You know what they should have said. So one of them should have stood over his body. They should have pulled out a cigarette, gone Marco, meet Polo, and like flicked the fucking cig on his body and gone yeah. Yeah, that's what they should have done.
The brainless bungee jumper. In 1997, police in Reston, Virginia, issued a statement saying that they had found body of a 22-year-old Eric Barcia, who had apparently died attempting to bungee jump off a 70-foot bridge.
We'll do it.
Eschwing commercial bungee operations. What? Eschwing commercial bungee operations. Eric had. Oh, eschewing.
Eschewing. Okay, all
eschewing,
right.
like issuing.
Yeah.
Wait, am I the dumb one here? They've spelt this. I'm gonna copy and paste it to Joe.
No, I know. That is
WING. Isn't it issuing? Like
no. It's a different word. Hold on, I'm not smart. Hold on, let me look up the definition. Meaning. There we go. Deliberately avoid using, to abstain from using. He appealed to the crowd to eschew violence. So that's actually that's not doing something.
Oh, so right, okay. So he didn't. So avoid. So I'm going to use the word avoiding instead. So avoiding commercial bungee operations, Eric had apparently taken matters into his own hands and tied several bungee cords together. He strapped himself on securely, tied the other end to the bridge, and jumped, confident in the knowledge that he'd carefully measured out the bungee's total length, just under 70 foot. Of course, what Eric had forgotten was that bungee cords stretch. Ah! Eric! My boy! What are you doing?
Eric, that is the one thing they had to say.
There's a reason that this thing's called the Darwin Award, because Darwin obviously discovered natural selection.
Yeah.
And it's natural selection at play. Yeah. Fuck me. Yeah. Okay. The luckless sledneck, apparently. Okay. Ordinarily, a man killed by an avalanche is Ordinarily, a man killed by an avalanche is suffering from a natural disaster and not eligible for a Darwin Award, says the awards website. But the circumstances surrounding the death of Walter, a 43-year-old Fairbanks man, are unusual enough to warrant an exception. He was not killed by a natural disaster, but by his own blatant stupidity.
We are all picturing the man as Walter White from Breaking Bad, yes, just so we're on.
For some reason, I was picturing a guy who looks kind of like Eggman, Dr. Eggman. Don't know why.
He does kind of look like Eggman, Walter White.
I suppose Walter, a little bit.
Walter, stop trying to get the Chaos Emerald, Walter. We got a job to do. Come on.
Walter's nomination for the 2000 awards came after he was high marking on his snowmobile. I don't know what that means. This almost entirely pointless exercise involves driving as far as you can up a pristine slope before the sled gets stuck and then bombing back down again. State troopers had warned that conditions meant avalanches were likely. Early in the day, Walter had in fact triggered an avalanche and been buried up to the waist. Any normal person might be shaken up by this, or at the very least take it as a sign that they should stop.
Walter!
But this committed slednik kept revving up the hillside until he triggered a second, bigger avalanche. That's not, that's stupid, but that's not funny enough for me. That's kind of boring. An avalanche killed a dude.
But it's already happened. I know it's not that interesting compared to the others, but it's just annoying that, it had already happened once.
Yeah.
It's fucking...
Stupid.
God damn it.
Okay, in 1999, a paraglider named Craig from Riverton in Utah decided he'd try out a new soft way of landing and splash down in a canal. The first part went swimmingly, with Craig executing a perfect landing. Unfortunately, the swimming part didn't go quite so well. Craig's parachute filled with water dragged him downstream and drowned him.
Yes.
Ugh, poor Craig. I mean, I could understand why you might think, oh, this is a safe place to land. It's, I'm landing in water. I'm not going to get hurt if I smack down too hard. But, I don't know, I could understand how you might mess up in this way. I bet he's not the first or the last person to do this.
No, that's, I mean, drowning because a parachute is dragging you down is a common way of drowning. It's just, usually, that's because you, like, fucking, the plane's going down over a body of water that's so big it's unavoidable, like, you know, the fucking ocean. So that's usually how it happens, not because somebody goes, oh, I'll just land in this water with my parachute on. And then they get dragged down. So
yeah, well, alongside Craig the paraglider in the 1999 Darwin Award nominations, a 27-year-old who met his untimely demise at somewhere in Wales, who cares? In an apparent attempt to impress a group of teenage boys, the man, who apparently they don't even want to mention their name, dove off an 80-foot cliff into the water. If done properly, that shouldn't be fatal, but the man had never done cliff diving or high diving before.
Wait, so hold on, picture the scene. Fucking, there's these like teenagers, they're like next to this cliff in Wales, they're like smoking, like they've got a joint, they're just like some teen lads like having a good time, like thinking they're out of everybody's way, and like behind them they hear somebody go, "Hey boys," and they like turn around and see this guy, so there he goes, "Watch this," and like music starts to play, like, I can feel myself going higher. He's like running slow motion to this edge, and he just fucking like jumps, and he like fucking hits the side, and he like rolls down a bit. These kids are just like, what?
You liked that one, didn't you? And the thing is, it's in Wales as well, so it wouldn't have been like, "Hey kids, watch this." It'd be like, "Hey kids, watch this."
Hey kids, watch this lake.
No, that's Newcastle. But,
yeah.
But you know, whatever. My accent was awful too. Okay. As hurricane strength winds swept through the south, sensible Spaniards up and down the coast battened down the hatches and prepared to sit out the storm. Our 40-year-old hero had other ideas, however. Seeing the reports of high winds and huge waves, he decided to defy the ban imposed on going into the water. He grabbed his balls, strapped into his board, and unfurled his kite. What the fuck? Grabbed his balls? Why the fuck have they mentioned that? He was going to do kite surfing, so he's got a surfboard and a kite, and, you know, the wind takes you along in the water. I don't know where the balls come into this. Maybe he was just squeezing his balls out of some sort of sick sexual pleasure the whole time.
He's like squeezing his... They told me I couldn't do this. Oh, I'm proving them all.
He's just coming the whole time.
He's just like squeezing his ball. Like there's no pleasure being derived from it. He's just squeezing too hard.
His body was found more than a kilometre away from the sea, having been dragged by the winds and slammed against several buildings along the way.
Oh no! Well, I'm glad at least he grabbed his balls. At least he won't be losing. He just slammed into a wall. He just got fucking chucked into a wall and died.
Several buildings! Several!
Several!
Still holding on! He slammed into the first one. He's like, "Oh, fuck! this is fine." He's still holding on to his balls with one hand and holding on to
Do you think he was trying to impress the same group of Welsh boys? Like everybody just keeps dying. Everybody just keeps dying because they fucking keep trying to impress these Welsh.
Every one of these deaths is more funny if you picture them trying to impress a group of Welsh teenage boys.
Every time they're like, "No, stop!
Please, we don't want another death on our hands."
Why are you all...
Good God. That's the funniest one. That's my favourite one so far. Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Cool.
Right. So apparently this fucking dumbass named Robert in 1995 tried to ride a jet ski off Niagara Falls. He'd done some planning. He'd fitted his jet ski with a rocket booster and he was carrying a parachute. So the idea was to fire the booster as he hit the falls, opening the parachute at the apex of his flight and drifting down to safety in the water below. apparently he'd failed to think about the fact that water is involved. So he pressed the button and the rockets just didn't work. And he plummeted to his death.
Oh, what was he stealing? Like, what's near Niagara Falls that, like, your exit strategy is through Niagara Falls? Like,
so you're thinking that this is like a Mission Impossible type deal?
Well, I don't know, because it's like, it sounds like it. He's trying to jump off Niagara Falls with a fucking homemade rocket. So yeah.
Oh, well, there's two more. I think we can get through two more before we finish. So, apparently, a lot of these involve jet skis. This time, the hapless individual was a man named Rodney. Now, what are we picturing Rodney? Because I'm picturing the rat from Flushed Away.
Well, now I'm only picturing the rat from Flushed Away, so yeah.
He was happily doing laps of Lake Washington when he realised his battery was running low on the jet ski. So he pulled up to the shore and moored his jet ski and ran to get a set of jump leads.
This all sounds like very Rodney from Flushed Away, by the way, so far, so I'm good with this.
He plugged the ends into a 110-volt outlet and ran down to the water's edge, carrying the crocodile clips.
Well...
No way! This is too unbelievable. No one's this fucking stupid.
This sounds more like a suicide.
He just fucking fell in.
Come on now, this sounds like a suicide.
Thing is, it says his body was found floating under the dock later that evening, so no one witnessed this. No one knows.
Yeah.
So they're just guessing that that's what's happened. That one's bullshit. Justice for Rodney, I think.
You think it was murdered, do you?
Yeah.
You think it was murdered?
I think he was pushed in by a 6-year-old girl.
Who she went, excuse me, could you hold these live crocodile wires?
No, I think he was going to jumpstart his jet ski, but then she shoved him in the water while he was holding him.
You don't think she like attached these live crocodile wires and then say, "Excuse me, kind sir, can you please hold on to these?"
No.
It's like yes, of course, dear. Well, what are you trying to jumpstart? She just like shoves it.
In 2002, a group of lads from Maidenhead, inspired by what they'd seen of Paris the Parkour, decided to give free running a go. Things started well for Mark and his mates. They found a gap between two multi-storey car parks with a 40-foot drop below. And after taking a long run up, Mark managed to clear it.
Nice.
Apparently he was chuffed with his achievement, and he headed to the pub with his mates. On their way home, they passed the car park again, and full of Dutch courage, Mark tried to do it again to show off. He lost his balance on the opposite side, and then fell 40 feet into solid concrete.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That'll do it. Again, something I think that I might do, to be honest.
Yeah, that one's a little bit more believable.
We do have an honourable mention here. So this has nothing to do with action sports. So it's... Okay, so in 1997, Wayne Roth of Pittston, Pennsylvania, was bitten by a cobra belonging to his friend Roger after reaching into the tank to pick up the poisonous snake. Apparently, Wayne told Roger, "I don't need to go to hospital. I'm a man. I can handle it." Instead, they went to the pub. There, he proved what a man he was by sinking several pints, boasting about the bite, and promptly dying about an hour later.
What year was this?
1997.
Do people now have like fucking regulations on snakes at this? But like this, should this not be like a defanged snake?
I don't know,
because this is somebody's pet. Like, did they just not give a fuck in the 90s?
It's Pennsylvania though as well. Like, America's weird with that shit, you know. Our country's quite strict when it's like, no, that'd be really dumb to have a deadly poisonous snake in your house. You can have the snake, but we're gonna make sure it's not deadly. You know,
when it's the founding fathers.
When like in our country, if you want a gun, they're like, you can, but like, We have to make sure you're not an insane, crazed person who's about to murder everyone. And you have to have it locked in a case that's preferably in a separate building. If you have a separate building, like a garage or something, in your residence, we make you put it there. You're not allowed to have it anywhere in your house. There's loads of rules like that. But in America, it's like, oh, what, you want a snake? Have 3 snakes. We sell them at Walmart, $2 each.
We sell live poisonous snakes at Walmart. We got it in the Constitution. If you look at that fucking Constitution over there, Amendment 57 says he shall have snake. Give him snake.
Unless you aren't white, in which case we will shoot you for trying to have a snake. Yeah. That's how the Americans work, am I right? It's all jokes. We don't mean it. Don't worry. We're not on any side of any political argument.
Are you a black woman or gay? You can't have a snake. You're not allowed a snake.
God. Right, well, that's a podcast. How do you think you will die in a silly way, Judd?
I think I'm going to die by trying to save someone who actually didn't need saving. So I'm gonna see something like somebody like it looks like something's about to fall on somebody, but actually my perception, my depth perception's just fucked or something. So it looks like a piano is gonna fall on a guy, but he's actually just out of the way. So I'd run up to push the guy out of the way, and the piano would land on me. So this guy would whoa, this guy saved me.
I think I would die by confronting a man who's being weird and overly touchy at the breakfast serving and tries to get an extra hash brown. I'll be like, whoa, you can't do that. And then he'll stab me in the neck for confronting him.
You're going to be sat there and it's going to happen again, and you're going to have an inner monologue that goes, you know what, Jordan was right. I should do something about this. I should stop being such a pussy. And you stand up and go, hey, that's not cool. And he just stabs you violently in the neck with a screwdriver.
Well, stab that subscribe button and make sure you're subscribed and like and follow and all of that. The streams badly on Twitch, streams badly on YouTube, podcast on all good streaming platforms. Podcast name is Podcast Badly. Hello and goodbye to Stephanie, Judd's mum.
Oh.
What?